Hello everyone. Today let's discuss about ratio and proportions. Now the first question is, if A is to B is 3 is to 4, if B is to C is given as 5 is to 6, C is to D as 7 is to 8, then they're asking us to find out A is to D ratio. Now this type of question is solved like this. First we need to write A is to B, that is 3 is to 4 in the first row. Then in the second row B is to C we have to write. That means in the first row B element is 4 and below that only this second B element 5 has to be written. Then 5 is to 6. 6 has to be written in the C place, that is in the third position of the second row. Then C is to D is given as 7 is to 8, that is the third data, and that has to be written in the third row, third position onwards. Third position is below 6. In the second row 6 is there, below that 7 we have to write. 7 is to 8 I have written in that fashion. Now in the next step I have to fill the remaining step. Here there are 4 variables A, B, C and D. 4 variables are there. Even though in the first data only 3 is to 4, 2 variables they have given. Remaining 2 variables are empty. We need to fill that data. And even in the second data B and C is given, A and D is not given, it is empty as of now. We need to fill that space with some data. Similarly in the third data also CD is given, AB is empty. Now what data we need to fill? Here we have to fill with the data. In the first row 3 is to 4 is what we have given, so the 2 empty places has to be given, or it has to be filled with the data 4 itself, because the last data is 4, that has to be filled. Then in the second row also 5 is to 6 is there, so before 5 there is an empty space, 5 only we have to fill. Same in the second row itself, after 6 there is an empty space, we have to fill the empty space with 6 itself, that is the previous data only we have to fill. Now in the third position we have 7 and 8 is there, so A and B positions are empty, that is A3 B3 is empty, so it has to be filled with the next data, that is 7 is the next data in the third row. Same 7 has to be written before. Now after this we have to multiply column wise. If we multiply column wise, 3 5s are 15, 15 7s are 105, like that. In the second column 4 5s are 20, 20 7s are 140, like that. We have to multiply remaining 3 and fourth column. The fourth column multiplication is 4 6 are 24, 24 8s are 192. Now after multiplying that, they're asking A and D. A is to D proportion. A value is 105, which is highlighted there, and D value is 192. So 105 is to 192. If possible we have to simplify that. It is going with third table. So if I simplify 3 1s are 3 3s are 9, then 1 will be there, 1 5 is 15, 3 5s are 15 there, so 35 will be my first value. Similarly 192 by 3 will give us 64. So that is the final answer. 35 is to 64 is the A is to D proportion. Then coming to the next problem, A is to B is to C is given as 3 is to 5 is to 6. Then we have to find A by B is to B by C is to C by A. Now this has to be found using whatever A by B we have to find. So we have to write as it is, A by B is to B by C is to C by A equal to. So A value is given as 3, B value is given as 5, that we have to substitute. Then B by C has to be substituted like 5 by 6, C value is 6 and A value again 3, 6 by 3. So we have substituted. In the next step we have to multiply the first numerator into second denominator and the third denominator. So we have to do 3 multiplication over here. So in the first, if you are multiplying the first numerator, then remaining 2 fractions we need to multiply the denominator, that is 2 denominators you multiply first. 6 3s are 18, 18 3s are 54. So 2 denominators are 6 into 3, which is 18. Then the first numerator is 3. 18 3s are 54. So like that we have to multiply, which is shown in the diagram. Now in the second case, the second element, that is second numerator 5, has to be multiplied with the other two denominators. Other two denominators are 5 and 3. So 5 3s are 15, 15 5s are 75. Then in the next step, the third numerator and the first and second denominator has to be multiplied. So which will give us 180, which is 6 6 are 36, 36 5s are 180. Then in the next step, so whatever 54, 75, 180 we got, we have to write in A is to B is to C proportion. After that, we have to simplify that to get the final answer. 18, 25, 60 is the final answer. Now the third question is, if A by B equal to 3 by 5, B by C is 7 by 8, then A plus B divided by B plus C is how much? This is the question. Now first we have to write A is to B, which is 3 by 5 we need to write in the proportion. 3 by 5 fraction we need to write in proportion, 3 is to 5. In the next step, B is to C we have to write in that particular manner, which I told earlier, that is 7 is to 8. After that, 2 empty places will be there, so that we need to fill with some value. So the same concept which we have used previously, the same concept has to be used. That is, in the first row, third element has to be filled with 5 itself, and in the second element, second row, A's position is empty, so that has to be filled with the next value. Next value is 7, so that 7 only has to be filled. Now in the next step, we have to multiply column wise. If we do that, 7 3s are 21, 7 5s are 35, 8 5s are 40. Then after multiplying, they are asking A plus B divided by B plus C ratio. So A value is 21 now, B value is 35, divided by B value 35 plus C value 40. 21 plus 35 is 56. Then we have 35 plus 40, which gives us 75. That is the final answer.